Put some respect on Darius Garland's name, goddammit. I'm tired of having to come on here and argue with you people about Darius Garland, disrespecting him, saying this and that about him, talking about like he's the weak link on this Cavs team when he's one of the main reasons this Cavs team is even here to begin with. And look, man, Darius can give it to you multiple ways, right? He can give you those 3-point games where he's electric from 3-point range. Today, Darius Garland gave us a Dada Supreme special. Yes, he looked like he was out there hooping in the spinner rim shoes. He looked like he was out there in the early 2000s giving us nothing but two pieces like Popeyes on a Tuesday. Bow, bow. Darius Garland, 27 points. 11 and 19. And best thing of all, it ends this damn road trip on a win. Oh, man, I know I'm glad to see this damn road trip over. You complain about, oh, we didn't dominate the Portland Trailblazers. You barely beat the Portland Trailblazers at home last time you played them. This time you played them at home. You beat them by 10. I'm not upset about this win. Did it look perfect at times? No. Did it look super clean at times? No. Was this like oh, my God, the Cavs look like they're back to full strength? No. But, like, let's really ask that question. Like, I know it would make us feel comfortable if the Cavs were at full strength right now. But then in the back of your mind, if the Cavs are playing their best basketball right now, you'd be worried because we still got like 2.5 weeks until the postseason starts. So I want to see the Cavs get to the point to where they're playing their best basketball when they need it, right? The second round, the conference championship, hopefully the NBA finals, right? That's when I want this Cavs team to get full gear, right? So, yeah, they're not shooting 60% from three like they were at certain points of the season, but if they got another stretch like that in them, save that shit for the playoffs. But this one, I liked how Darius Garland played in this one. 11 of 19, only took 3 threes. Whoo! Look, Daryl Morey in somewhere furious about this performance that Darius Garland just put on. It was Chris Paul-esque, right? It was that throwback early 2000s style of like, because there were a lot of jumpers in there from Darius, right? That's why I call it a Dada Supreme special, a Popeyes 2-piece on a Tuesday special, because there was a lot of jumpers in here by Darius Garland, like mid-range jumpers that Darius took in this game that you really don't see that much. Yeah, there was a lot of jumpers in this game that he took. He only really took like 2 layups in this game, 2-3 layups. Everything else was floaters, jumpers, stuff at the top of the key. I like it. It's not the most efficient game you can play, obviously, right? There's a reason we don't really resort to all of those 2-point jumpers, but I love me a good 27-point jumper special from a guard who can dribble and flow with the ball like Darius Garland can. And I thought it was really fun to watch, and it's fun to see Darius in this mode because I think people just forget that Darius is easily capable of this, right? If Donovan Mitchell was somebody, if the team needs him to get 40, he's capable of getting 40. Darius Garland is somebody who, if the team needs him to get 30, he's capable of getting 30. And he demonstrates that on a regular basis. And at some point, somebody other than me and like 5 other people on Cavs internet, whatever you want to call it, have to start mentioning how Darius Garland plays super well in the fourth quarter in clutch situations. Like, he's up there. People don't mention it as much. All I hear is when Darius Garland misses a shot or he misses a couple free throws, oh, y'all on his ass. But when Darius Garland closes a game like he did against the Portland Trailblazers, y'all ain't got shit to say about that. I'm just saying, but I'll just keep in mind, keep an ear out for those you don't hear in moments like this when Darius hoots. But then, like, let Darius be bad for one game, and then see who all of a sudden pops out the woodwork to say something about Darius Garland. It's kind of awkward. But yeah, Darius thought he had a good one. Evan thought he played really well in this one. Evan's getting real smooth with his dribble. Like, he had a couple of spin moves in this one. Like, you can see for a while we've been talking about like the jumper and the 3-point shot being something that Evan Mobley is developing, but it's not there yet. That's where his dribble is. Like, his dribble has gotten to a point to where it's not a liability, and he can be functional with it, but he's adding stuff to his dribble to where I'm like, he's going to be able to shake somebody on the perimeter sooner than later. Like, I think this is my bold prediction. Evan Mobley's going to catch a body on the perimeter sooner than later. The way his dribbling has been progressing, because he is starting to get to that point to where it's kind of more on command with him, and if Evan gets a dribble, oof. My God. To go with the three-point shot that's been developing, he didn't make any threes today, but to go with the three-point shot that's been developing, a finishing game that's been developing rapidly, and then, everything else that Evan has to offer, yeah, man, it's going to be special. I thought Evan really came out to show that he's truly the defensive player of the year. There's been a lot of nonsense being thrown around about Evan Mobley. Whenever the Cavs lose a couple of games, it's not happen much this year, but whenever it happens, it feels like it's open season on the Cavaliers and its members to throw out whatever people want to throw out about him. And that was something that people were trying to make an argument that Evan's a bad defender, and that Draymond Green is more deserving of Defensive Player of the Year. Just silly nonsense. Evan came out today, got 4 blocks, really demonstrated that he's not a weakness defensively. People were talking about him like he's damn Rudy Gobert, like you just isolate him because he's an easy bucket. That's crazy to me. I don't know how you watch the Cavs, how you watch Evan Mobley and get to that impression unless like you're trying to get to that impression, especially if you know what you're talking about, right? It's a very uncharitable impression to get from Evan, if anything. And I thought Evan came out today very strong to prove that point that, don't get shit twisted, right? Like, yeah, Kawhi got some buckets, Kevin Durant got some buckets, is what it is, right? Had a couple off nights, but I'm still Evan Mobley, got 4 blocks like in the first quarter of this game. So don't get it twisted with Evan. Really good game from him. I thought Jarrett's been pretty forgettable this entire West Coast trip. I don't know. Has he gotten over 10 rebounds this entire West Coast trip? It's been a forgettable run for him. I know he wants to stay on the court. He wants his 82-game streak. But, I wonder if that finger injury is actually affecting him at this point, because he's not rebounding well, which is my concern, right? And I don't want to go into the playoffs with a Jarrett Allen that can't rebound. You're going to get out-physicaled in some aspects because Jarrett Allen's just not that big. But you want to limit that as much as possible. Right now, Jarrett Allen's on the low end of what he's capable of rebounding-wise. Not happy with that. So, if he has to sit out a couple games, I know he wants to streak. He's going to have to sit out a couple games because he has to rebound better than this in the playoffs. Now, obviously, we're not in the playoffs, so I'm not going to judge him like we are in the playoffs. But, that's where we're at. Ty Jerome, another guy who had a big game for the Cavs, 25 off the bench, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 of 5 from 3 from Ty Jerome. This was one of those games where Ty Jerome just woke up in the third and fourth quarter and decided that he's Luka Doncic, and started looking like mini Luka Doncic, right? Like every once in a while, Ty Jerome gives you one of those performances. This absolutely was one of those performances where Ty Jerome starts to look like Luka Doncic out of nowhere. DeAndre Hunter, his shot's still trying to come back. 11 points. Thought he went to the floor a lot more. Got some floaters, jumpers, other stuff going defensively. I thought he was fine. Would love to see him rebound a little bit more. Stayed out of foul trouble today, too, because I know that's been an issue with him since he's gotten to the Cavs. He's gotten in foul trouble a lot. But all in all, solid game from Evan Mobley. Really good game from Ty Jerome. Nothing we haven't seen before from him. And then, you see the flashes from Evan Mobley of developing even more, like that coast-to-coast play where he's finished with the dunk through contact. Oh, my God, that's the future. That's the future of Evan Mobley. And the thing that's getting scarier with Evan is he's going to be able to, as that dribble gets better, as he can handle the ball better, he's going to be able to create more fast break opportunities. And he's a three-point threat. He's a threat at the hoop, obviously. He's a threat to lob it to Jarrett Allen if Jarrett wants to run alongside him, or if that's happening, or something parallel like that is happening. And he's a good passer. So if he can dribble himself into some fast breaks more often than not, then oh my God, that's really hard to stop. That's like 10 points a game right there for Evan if he wants it, if he can get to that level. But that's the future there. Darius Garland, I love a throwback classic, right? You know what I mean? This is a well, I can't even say baggy clothes because y'all wear baggy clothes now, right? You know, y'all have transitioned back into some of that. But Darius Garland, you know, he had the big Janko jeans on. He had the Air Force Ones with the patent leather. Yeah, you know the ones. You know, he got the SpongeBob Air Force Ones with the patent leather joints on them. And he had his pro model on tilted, and he got himself 27-0 way. Love it. Love it. Somebody play that Jello ball for Darius Garland because that was a throwback game right there. Only 3 points, only 3 threes taken, made one of them. 27 points, all just jumpers, just nasty jumpers, turn away, stinking leg, jumpers. Just a whole lot of shit Darius did in this game that made you go, like, yeah. It was, if you like that kind of hoops and you didn't get to watch this game, go watch this game. Darius gave you some good old fashioned buckets. Some playground buckets. But shout out to Darius. Love that he played like that, came out like that on a night where Donovan Mitchell was not in and he had to take over. So you love to see that. The Cavs advanced to 58 wins. And I know the Cavs are fresh off a 4-game losing streak, but remember, y'all, this is the 3rd best record the Cavaliers have ever had. And yes, this means that the Cavs have now surpassed the 2015-2016 championship team, Cavaliers, and they've also surpassed the 1991-92 and the 1988 and 89 Cavaliers. So they have a better record than the peak of the second LeBron era and the peak of the Mark Price, Lenny Wilkins era in Cleveland. So Kenny Atkinson carving a new lane out for Cleveland Cavaliers basketball with the 3rd best record in Cavs history. 61 is the next mile marker for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have 58 wins. Let's look at the rest of their schedule real quick to see realistically, you know, how many more wins can the Cavs rattle off, and if the best record in franchise history is within reach for them. So the Cavs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games left. 10 games left. So they would pretty much have to win out. Well, no, they would have to go 8-2 for the rest of the year to get to the same mark they were in LeBron's second to last year as a Cavalier. But they can do it, right? You got San Antonio at home, at Detroit. They're going to play you hard, but the Cavs usually show up big time for that. I think that's the game where the Cavs kind of get back into their playoff intensity mode after kind of gearing down. Then you get the Clippers. You're going to want to prove a point, don't want to get swept by anybody. You got the New York Knicks on ESPN. You're going to show up big for that one, right? San Antonio in San Antonio, Sacramento, Chicago, Indiana, at New York again in Indiana. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs were able to start warming up here and get hot because I think they can win every single one of these games without being extraordinarily hot from 3 or anything like that, right? If they just play good, sound basketball, I think they can beat every team in front of them. We'll see who LA has when they play the Cavs again, but that'll be in Cleveland, 3:30 tip on a Sunday. So, you know, more of a standard time for that game on a Sunday. It's possible the Cavs could show up big on that one. What's the Cavs' magic number? Is it 6 now? Let's double check that. But I think the Cavs' magic number is now 6 to clinch. Yes, it is 6 games to clinch the 1 seed in the East. So if they win 6 out of their next 10, they can clinch. We'll see how the Cavs do down the stretch, but this damn West Coast trip is over. No more 10 o'clock tips for the rest of this season. You're not going to see another 10 o'clock tip, which is great. Damn that NCAA tournament. But yes, Cavs win this game, get to 58 wins. And now, you know, their march to 60 begins as they have the 3rd best record in Cavaliers history and have eclipsed the second LeBron era and the previous high before LeBron got here, which is the Lenny Wilkins, Mark Price era Cavs. So that's good news there. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace. I forgot to put the background up for the Cavs. Forgive me for that. But y'all have a good one.